Hello ArcheryTalk, this is Lucas, and today I got a delivery from Fairdyne Outdoors. Specifically, it is a new sight from Rocky Mountain. Now, generally speaking, when manufacturers have products they want to unveil to the press and let us test out, it tends to be expensive flagship level stuff, but not everybody can afford that. So what I asked a couple of manufacturers to do is to send me some affordable but still good quality products for me to test out this year. And so I reached out to a couple of different sight manufacturers, and the first one I thought of was Rocky Mountain because they've got 3 different sight offerings in that $100 price range area that are still very good features. And so I wanted to try and have a look and see how they perform. So we're gonna do a little unboxing video and let's see what we find in here now. All right, let's get started and we will just open up the box. First things first. Oh my goodness, it's a bit messy in here. I'll see what I can do. Get past all the wrapping they put on there. Some bubble wrap. All right, so here we go. This is the Rocky Mountain 5-pin direct mount sight. The thing that drew me to this site, first of all, was it's $80. Now, that's not exactly a super low budget site. You can find a hunting bow site, you know, for $20 to $30 if you really want to. But I'm of the mind that a site is the kind of the one area you really shouldn't skimp. So Rocky Mountain has had these sites came out just recently, and I believe, I haven't touched it yet, but yeah, I believe it's all aluminum construction. So there's no plastic on here. Not of the actual site structure itself. Anyway, let's have a look and see what some of the adjustability is on this. So I think it looks like most of it is going to be toolless, I think. Oh no, I'm going to need Allen keys to get in there. Oh no, there we go. So it looks like my windage adjustment there, I think. Yeah, so just add some clicks there to figure your left to right windage. I think that's what, yeah. It's actually pretty small adjustments in there, which is cool. And it's got quite a bit of windage adjustment in there. And then over here, same thing, if I can untwist it, there we go. And there's got my vertical adjustment. So you can do kind of your vertical gang adjustment here. So, you know, maybe you get your 20-yard pin, kind of keep it there, and then just use this vertical adjustment to figure out, you know, move your 20-yard pin. And once you got that sorted out, you lock it down, don't touch it again, and then use these individual Allen keys here to move the rest of the pins. And it's fairly bright. These are 19th thou pins, so they'll be fairly bright. I've got a sight, my first hunting bow sight I ever got, I got 10 thou pins on it, and I've always kind of regretted it. Just because where I shoot in my club, it's indoors, it's really hard to see. But 19 thou pins are nice and bright, which I like a lot. So the other nice thing about this bow, and I'm not entirely sure how to adjust it yet, I think down here, is it has 3rd axis adjustability. That is a super rare thing in a sight that costs less than $100. So it is really kind of cool that you can make adjustments on this sight. You know, if you're a tree stand hunter, so if you're up in a tree stand 20, 25 feet up, that is when you need that 3rd axis to be bang on. Because, you know, you can go, if you have a 3rd axis leveler, you put your sight on there, and just to make sure your sight's gonna be level when you're pointed down, or if you're somehow pointed up, which is rare. But in hunting situation, you could be pointed down a lot of the time, and if you're not, you might look like you're level with the bubble, but you could really be off if your 3rd axis isn't on right. So it's a really cool feature that this sight has that for a sight that's $80. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I'm sure somebody will point it out to me in the comment section if I'm wrong. But for all aluminum sight, to include 2nd and 3rd axis adjustability is pretty fantastic. Okay, let's open up the rest of the package and see what's inside. And we've got a bunch of Allen keys in here to make all of your sight adjustments, plus some screws to mount it to your bow, and I'm thinking to mount a quiver to the side of the sight. I imagine is why there's 4 of those. And let's have a look at the instruction manual real quick. I'm pretty sure I know how to make the adjustments, but I just want to make sure. There we go, make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, another cool thing on the sight. now that I'm looking at it here, is that you could mount one of those screw-in lights right at the bottom of the housing. And then that's where all the fibers are. And that'll brighten up those pins even brighter than they already are right now. So I'm not quite sure what size that's going to be. I've got a Spot Hog one that fits my Spot Hog hunting sight and some Trophy Ridge lights. So one of those may fit in there. I'll try and have a look. And if not, I'll see if I could check out the Fairnine website later on and see if I know what size thread will fit into there for a light. But it's cool that's included on there. Again, little small details are nice on this. Other things to consider, the laser etchings. So when you're moving the windage up and down, or you're moving your pins up and down, you can kind of, at least you can know, all right, you can use the lines as guides to tell you how far maybe you need to go, or if you've moved it and you moved it too much to think, oh, all right, I was at this line before, so now I just got to go back to it and start from scratch. The one thing I'd like to see is on this vertical adjustment here, I wish there was an arrow pointing to one of those little laser engraved marks instead of you're just using the top or the bottom of the arm. But having an arrow in there pointing at that would be kind of a cool feature, and would be, I imagine, a super simple thing to install. Just a little pointer. Having that, and you can even have it on the side here for the windage. That would be a handy feature as well. But again, this is pretty cool for what we've got. Now, looking at the side there. Yeah. They're mounting on our quiver holes are on the side. So we have multiple different mounting options and different quiver options, which is kind of cool. And now let's think about adjustability. I'm gonna flip this thing over and hopefully it'll tell me where to make my adjustability. So here's my second axis is going to be right here. So I've got two screws. I've got one top and one bottom. Just gotta find the right size. I'll keep it going there. I think it's a fatter one. There it is. So I'm just gonna loosen that a little bit and loosen this a little bit up top as well. And then now we can move our sight and get the second axis lined up. So if you got a third axis leveler, I've got a bright sight third axis leveler that I use. That works great. And so we'll get that on there later on to make sure it's good. So when I'm up in a tree stand, I'll know my sight is level. And then the third axis adjustability is actually a simple little design. The third axis is adjusted is right on where the level is, wherever the bubble level is. There's a little screw. So all we do is put this, oh, that's the wrong size in there again. You put that little screw in there. There you go. And then you can move this thing. So that's your third axis, which is the kind of the swinging axis on that thing, left to right. So if we get that bang on, then we know when we're shooting at extreme angles. If you're shooting down from a tree stand that's 20 feet high in the air, or down to a deer down below, if that axis is good, then it's going to be level when you're looking down, level when you're looking up, level when you're straight. Your arrow is going to go where you want it to go. You can get some weird surprises if you don't have a third axis adjustability on your hunting site. If you hunt from up high, if you're a ground blind hunter, it's less of an issue. But if you're a tree stand hunter, that's a big deal. So again, for an $80 site, that really is a pretty fantastic feature. I think that is really about it on features for this site. As far as adjusting the pins, that looks pretty straightforward. I'm gonna guess, is it the same Allen key? This one right here? Yeah, this is the one here. So the pins are right there. Again, and the pins all have their own laser etchings there too, which is, again, it's pretty handy. So you need to loosen up a pin. This is gonna be your 20, 30, or your top, second, third, fourth, and fifth pin. So, let's say you go 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards. So you loosen up your second pin. I don't know if you can see that in there. And then you can just kind of raise it and lower it to, a little bit at a time. It's not a micro adjustable thing. Like you have to, there's not clicks in there to make it really easy for you to adjust. So you kind of have to just loosen it a little bit, move it a touch, and lock it down in place and try it. So it'll be a little bit of trial and error in there. But again, for an $80 site, I can't ask for anything more than that. And you can set up all these. Often, I like to set up like a 20, 30, 40, 50 yard pin. And then if I'm lucky enough to tag out early in hunt camp, I'll have a pin right down at the bottom as far as I can go. So maybe I've got an 80 yard pin or a 90 yard pin, depending what my sight picture looks like. I can just have a little bit of fun shooting long range. Hopefully if I'm lucky enough to tag out early, which is not always the case. But anyway, this is I'm excited to really give this a try. For 80 bucks, seems like a great value. Again, with second and third axis adjustability. That is, I don't know if there's any other sites like that in that price range, all metal construction, all that adjustability for that price point. I'm excited to see if it stands up to, to a fast hunting bow, to the, the exertions that are going to get on there, the vibration and anything else you might find on there that can damage sights, because they do get damaged. Cheap sights show off their cheapness after a little while, typically. So this one seems to be built pretty solid. Everything in there is metal. So I suspect this is going to last a long time. So stay tuned to ArcheryTalk for a full review in the coming weeks, and we've got another affordable sight coming in. I'm hoping to get at least one more. Maybe we'll do a little comparison of the three to see kind of the best sight for your money in that $100 price range. So for now, again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to ArcheryTalk for more, and we'll talk to you soon.